Hi everybody, I'm personal chef Lisa Spampanato and you're watching In the Kitchen with Lisa. Today we're going to be doing a grilled Asian pork tenderloin, so we're going to be chilling and grilling today. Really simple ingredients, just a few, really easy to put together, and something that can go on the grill and be done in about 20 minutes. So to get started, I've got a bowl, and instead of just putting all my marinade in the bowl, I'm going to go ahead and just take a plastic bag and line this, because our tenderloin is going to be going in this bag in the refrigerator to marinate overnight. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with about 1/3 cup of soy sauce, and I'm just going to pour that right in. Then after that, I need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And this is a really easy trick. If you coat the measuring cup that you're going to be using for your honey with olive oil or any other oil that you're using, it'll come out of the cup really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and coat that cup as I'm getting my oil in there. 2 tablespoons. Now I can go ahead and put my honey in. And I need about 1/3 cup of honey, industrial size. And you'll see how easy this comes right out of the cup now. No muss, no fuss. Very little left over in the measuring cup. And then the last liquid that we're going to put in before we put in our aromatics, our spices and everything, is lime juice. Now you can use the lime juice that comes fresh in the store, in the supermarket, in the, in the bottle, or you can go ahead and use real fresh lime juice, which is just as easy. I need about 1/4 cup of lime juice. So I've already squeezed some out here, and I'm going to do 1 more lime just to complete that. And if you roll your lime on your board before you cut into it, it's going to help soften up some of that pulp so that it'll release the juice a lot easier. I also want to remind you that before you start, you should have preheated your grill, whether it's charcoal or gas, outside, and let it come up to high and then turn it down to medium heat, so that by the time, if you're going to go ahead and grill right away, that way your grill's ready to go. And that will give me 1/4 cup of my lime juice right into there. Now I've got 3 cloves of garlic here, and they're almost all peeled, so let me go ahead and finish peeling them. You can go ahead and just smush it with your hand, or you can pound on it too. That'll take it right off. And that looks pretty good to me. So we're going to go ahead and add that to our bag of marinade. And again, that was about 3 large cloves of garlic. Next, we're going to go ahead and put in some ginger. And I'm going to tell you again, you can go ahead and cheat. If you look in the refrigerated section of your grocery store, over by the fresh produce, maybe sometimes by the herbs, they have these. And these are already ground up concentrated herbs, such as ginger or dill or basil, in like an olive oil suspension, and they squeeze right out of the tube. So I keep a couple of these in the freezer, and they're wonderful for a quick, add to something. You can also go ahead and get fresh ginger in your supermarket. Everybody carries this now. And it smells delicious. It's a nice, strong, green, fresh, pungent smell. Terrific. So I've gone ahead and cut off maybe about 1 inch and 1.5 inches. And before I go ahead and grate it or chop it, I'm going to show you really quick how you can peel this with a spoon. That way you're preserving the flesh of the ginger and you're not really wasting too much. You're just going to take a regular kitchen spoon and kind of scrape it across the outside, and that's going to help you take the thinnest piece of that ginger skin off. Now you can either dice this up with your knife, or you can go ahead and grate it with something like a microplane, or with one of these. So you can either do that to grate it, and that's going to stick in there, and then you've got to push it out with your finger, or you can use your microplane and do that, and then scrape it out of the bottom of there. And you want about 2 tablespoons of this. Now I've gone ahead and already actually diced up some ginger earlier, just to save some time. So I've put it into like a fine dice right there. And all you would do is, just like you would with your garlic, just cut it into some smaller pieces and then go ahead and dice it up, just like that. Really easy. And that's going to give that marinade some really nice flavor. So let's add that in there too. After our ginger and our garlic are done, we're going to go ahead now and add our spices. So I've got about a tablespoon of curry going right in there. And a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. So now I've got all of my marinade in my bag, clean bowl. And what you're gonna add to that is 2 of those smaller pork tenderloins that you get in the store. They usually come about 2 to a pack. I've already got one marinating and I'm gonna put the other one in here. So let me show you what that looks like. This is just one of them. Normally they come 2 side by side, packed up in like the vacuum packed plastic. So you would go ahead and just put that right in your bag. Clean bowl. And then what you want to do is try and squeeze out as much air as possible because that's really going to help force that marinade into your meat. Just seal it up really good. Smush it around. Make sure all that flavor gets in there. And then this can go into the fridge if you're not going to grill it right away for as little as an hour, just to really help that marinade sink in, which is what I recommend. Or even up to overnight, which I've done as well, and it comes out tender and delicious. And that looks just right. And the next thing I want to do is, just to be safe, go ahead and check it with my thermometer. And for pork, you really want it about 160, but because after we take this off, we're going to let it rest, it's going to continue cooking a little bit. So if it's at about 150, 155, that's fine, because you're going to cover it and let it rest, and it's going to keep cooking internally for a little bit. So let's just double check. It's going, it's going, it's going. And you want to put it right into the center of the meat so it's not too close to the grill itself. And we are there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that and turn off my grill. So we've got our meat off the grill, and we're going to go ahead and slice it on the diagonal, and you're going to see how perfect this came out. And it was so easy. Beautiful. So we've got our pork plated, and I have here some beautiful coconut soy brown rice, and all it is instead of cooking my rice in just water, I used about a cup of coconut milk, a little bit of soy sauce, and then I added the rest of the measurement was just water. So it gave it some nice flavor just to kind of complement the pork a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and drizzle some of that marinade that I was talking about before. I went ahead and boiled it on the stove until it came to a rolling boil. So now it's a nice thick sauce. Put that right over the top and a little on the side just to make it look pretty. And that is it. Simple, easy, and quick. Let's see how we did. That pork is so tender you don't even need a knife. Got a little sauce there. Perfect and delicious. Thanks for joining me for this edition of In the Kitchen with Lisa. If you'd like this recipe or any other recipe, please contact or email JTV. The address is viewermail@jtv.tv.